I met Edward Frasier while I was camping at Nellis Air Force Base earlier this year. His gregarious and talkative nature and near constant smile made my time in Nevada much more enjoyable. Ed joined the Air Force in the late 70s after high school, and after a brief stint in the Air Force Reserves, he joined the Army to travel around the world. He might josh me to hear me say it, but the Navy was where travel was at. But he served at a lot of commands doing a variety of tasks, but most of his stories centered around jumping out of airplanes. Here are a few of them.
I've noticed that you're pretty interesting storyteller, so I'm wondering if you can give me maybe one or two stories, funny stories that stand out from your time in the military that just have you laughing even all these years later.
There was the one in the Army is we have to jump in Special Forces, so there was one where we flew around and the winds weren't that bad, probably less than 5 miles an hour, but I jumped out of the aircraft and then I heard this guy call my name, Sarge, Sarge. And I look over and he's coming at me, coming toward me. And I'm looking at him like, and in Airborne, you never get near the other parachutists. You stay away from him. So I turn left, then I turn right, and he's still trailing me. Sarge, Sarge. And I'm like, get away from me, get away from me. And he's still following me. And I'm thinking, this guy's going to ride my chute, and when I get down, I'm going to beat his rear end right then and there. And I finally landed, and I walked over to him after I'd landed and grabbed my bag and everything, walked over to him and said, hey, what's the deal? He goes, I'm sorry, apologize. He said, I'm sorry. He goes, I was just so excited. He says, and I saw you out there because we'd been on the aircraft for quite a while. We didn't jump right away because of the winds. And he goes, doggone. He goes, I just lost my head. I said, dude, you were chasing me all over the drop zone and all that. And he's like, sorry about that, Sarge. Honestly, I'm sorry about that. And there was this other one where the winds were so high. Oh, they were so high. We jumped out. Well, we waited like 15 minutes after the first time. We had to sit back down, and they opened up the back ramp, and we were going out. And they said that the winds had gone from 13 miles an hour to 0. And I was thinking to myself, I know everybody else did the same thing when I found out later, was that, wait a minute, how does the winds drop from 13 to 0? It's an impossibility. It doesn't go that way because they've been blowing up that high. And when we jumped out, my whole body hit the harness, and I got jarred. And it was so bad that my helmet slid down. It hit me on the bridge of the nose, even though I had it tied up. And I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm tangled up. My chute, I couldn't raise my head up to look above my head to see if the chute, so I had to pull, and I'm bicycling to kick myself back into formation to get straight with the risers. And now finally I get it around, and I look up, and everything's good, and I'm looking, and I'm like, wow. Kept coming down. I could feel the wind changing 100 feet off the ground. You do not. You hold what you got, you land. Keep it tight, land. 5 feet off the ground, I felt the wind shift again. I turned toward it, and as I did, the wind picked my legs up, and my chute collapsed. I hit the ground hard. I just laid there, and my Sarge came over. He's dragging his bag. He's limping. He got down beside me. He goes, Ed, you okay, man? I said, dude, I'm hurting. He goes, I said, there was no way those winds were 0. He goes, they were 15, man. They were 15 miles an hour when we left that aircraft. I said, oh my goodness. It was awful.
What does it feel like to go into winds like that when you're jumping off the airplane? I mean, you said that it had pushed your chest, but I mean, is there a way you can describe to people who've never...
You're in the harness, and it's just a slight pop, and you just relax in the harness. But it's like hitting a brick wall. You jump in, and your chute's going to pop open. And when it pops open, it's like a brake. It slows you down. But to hit it at that mile, it's like dead stop. Boom! I mean, your whole body just... You're still accelerating. Your body's in the harness, but your whole body's still compressing downwards. And it's like you feel yourself jarred real hard.
On a good jump, what can you describe the experience of floating down after your chute has opened? What is it like?
Initially, in the aircraft, there's a lot of noise. And when you leave, it's total quiet. I mean, total quiet. Very peaceful. You may look up, you may see your chute slightly moving in, but other than that, it's just total quiet. and you look around, you can see the sun. If the sun's out, which it was a lot, the sun's out, and you just float. And I was a light guy at the time, really light, probably 125 pounds, and it was really light, and you just float, and it's so quiet. And then you look for your trucks, because you don't want to walk across the drop zone, so you look for the trucks. And you can land. When you land what they call PLF, parachute landing fall, and you hit the balls of your feet, or the back of your calves, your buttocks, and your push-up muscle, which is down the side, and that's a perfect landing. And I've gone on landings where I've gone feet, knees, and face into the ground. I've been dragged across the drop zone on some jumps, But a perfect landing I had one perfect landing where I landed right on my feet. I landed right on my feet where I was like, oh, I'm down, Because what you do is as you come down, like I said, the last 100 feet, you get ready, you look, you don't make adjustments, and then you put your hands in front of your face, you get ready to go ahead and just turn left or right on your body and shift as you land, and you collapse on yourself, But there have been some jumps that you don't even want to go there. I've always been scared of jumping. I don't like heights. I've been scared of jumping, but they paid me for that. But the thing is, you do. You're always in the back of your mind, okay? It's only a couple seconds, but they train you to count up to 4,000, 1,001, 1,002, so forth, and then your chute's open, which your chute opens faster. But the feeling of falling, and all of a sudden you feel your whole inside, your stomach's now up in your throat along with your heart. You're like, oh, because the acceleration of falling is a very, very harsh feeling. But when your harness catches you and the chute opens, it's comfortable because it's a really soft ride. You're secured in the harness. You're just kind of like, oh yeah, and you relax with it, But the first few moments of getting ready to go, your mind's doing a lot of thousand things. Okay, everybody's checked me. I've checked them. We're ready to go. How far the truck's away? Let's get this thing over with. Let's be done with it. Let's get to the floating part and maybe a little bit of the landing part, and then you can relax once you get all through that.
Until next time, this is Spencer Webster of Webbed Moto and Media. Thanks for watching.